Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UENradio.com.
It's time for the Bonnie Sher Show, a whirlwind of wit, wisdom, celebrity, and the boomer life. With a little bit of this and a lot of that and so much more you don't want to miss, here's Bonnie.
There's no there. Oh, hi. I don't know. I just do this show. They don't really tell me too much. But I'm going to tell you that you're more than welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. So welcome, old friends as well as new, to the Bonnie Sher Show. And I'm really glad you're here. And I will be guiding you through the worlds, today, through the worlds of entertainment, through issues pertinent to the boomer generation, and of course, my T1 diabetics. So thank you for tuning in, and please feel free to share your thoughts. You can call us at 323-843-2826. I always feel like I'm broadcasting in Miami or Dade when I say that. You got to be a Floridian to get that. Okay, or even better, you can tweet the hashtag BSher, that's SHER radio on Twitter. Easy. So before we get the show on the road, I'd like to acknowledge jazz great Wayne Cobham for my super duper hero theme song. Thank you, Wayne. And also a shout out to Corey Bowen, the owner of Crown and Anchor Jewelry, who allows me to wear pieces of his collection in exchange for this promotional message. My teeth aren't working. I don't know what to tell you. I'll try and fix that. Okay then, when we come back, the tremendously talented Leata Galloway is here with us today, and we'll be back.
Your life story is more than the things you do. It's a story built on the moments you make today and the impact you have on others. How big is your story going to be? Live your legend.
Welcome back. Well, y'all have had a chance to get a glimpse, I think, of Leata, but let me take this time to turn around and say, welcome, Leata Galloway. Welcome to the Bonnie Sher Show, Boomer Life.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming in. I've been a fan of yours.
Yeah.
And still am. I mean, it's not a past tense kind of thing, but we'll talk about that later. When I was reading more about you, and I learned that you knew at a very young age, did you not, that this was the path that you wanted to follow?
Oh, yes. I was a singer when I was in elementary school, and in high school I did all the plays and played Julie Jordan and Carousel and Maria in West Side Story in the community center, and then auditioned for Hair at
That's some story.
yeah, and got a Broadway show at I think 17.
I am honestly goosebumples, and I'm wearing a jacket, so it's not so. Isn't that just the greatest story?
Yeah.
Now, you were also in the film, were you not?
Yes, I was. I think I was one of the originals in the film. Everybody else was from outside. So
Latter Day
Yeah.
singers, yeah. So, I mean, a Broadway show. What must you have been thinking? Did you think this was going to be an easy ride because this had come rather easily to you, or did you know
No.
that this was probably a lucky break? Hang on to it and ride it.
It was a major break because I never had gone to a Broadway show. My hangout was the Apollo Theater. And we were like the little groupies that watched James Brown. You know, they would actually let us in so we could cheer for James Brown. And Nancy Wilson was there, and Mums Mabley, and all the Supremes.
What a time that must have been.
So that was my background. So when I got a Broadway show, I didn't know what a Broadway show was until I finally
So you took the A train.
Exactly.
I had the reverse of that. Well, it's a long story for another time. I think I'm talking to an old friend now. Isn't this delightful? So tell me, now, from what I've listened to, you come from although you have a background from the Broadway stage, the music that I hear you singing, relating to, and I certainly relate to, is the jazz that you sing.
Yeah.
How did that occur? Were there...
Well, my father used to have all those albums in his room, Brooke Benton, Nancy Wilson, Morgana King, people like that. So I would sneak in his room and take them into my bedroom and listen to them. And I would just
Do you
learn.
sing along?
Of course.
Of course.
That was my vocal lessons.
Right? I get it. I get it.
With Nancy Wilson.
Not bad.
I knew every note, every song on her albums back then. And that really was my learning.
Now, how would you feel if you were to find out that, and I don't think this is such a stretch, that somewhere out there, there's somebody who's thinking the same darn thing about you.
That's
listening to you all of the time.
Yeah, that would be an honor.
And I think in our business there is something lovely about the sharing of our gift. Not just for a paying audience, but for those who are younger than us and are coming up.
That would be amazing. But I do have...
And but that's the thing. You can't possibly know how many people are feeling that way. A way that you bend a note, or something that just makes them go, oh, God, I wish I could be doing that too.
Yeah.
And they'll listen to you and how you bent the note until they can accomplish that, if they can.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I came up with it after the second cup of coffee. I wonder about that sometimes.
Yeah, funny. But I have fans in South Africa, which I had no idea. They actually send back lyrics on Facebook to me of all the songs. They'll be singing the songs. Oh, I love this song, and they'll just dictate all the lyrics on the songs to me. And how can I get your album? How can I get your album?
We know the answer to that, but we're going to hold that up for a minute. We're not talking about that yet. You live out here, do you not?
Yes.
Out here, if you don't know, we're here in Hollywood, California.
I came out in 1990. Well, I came out earlier, and off doing shows here and there. And...
on that note, I know that you were at the Cinegrill. Yes. And how do I know that? Because last night I got a message on Facebook from a man named Jack Globenfeld.
Wow.
You know who he is? Do you remember him?
That name
he was the booker.
Yeah.
When he saw the ad on Facebook that you were going to be on the show, He wrote this, how great, how gorgeous, how terrifically talented. I said, I booked you already. You don't have to sell me. I know.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so you see.
Where is he? Is he still
He's-
booking the Hollywood?
No, he's on the other coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do that. I switch coasts because
Yeah.
while you were coming here in the 90s, I had left L.A. and gone back to New York right after Sammy passed away.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
didn't want to hang in L.A. at that point.
I hear you.
So what keeps you occupied? What does your day look like? I want to know.
Oh, I just sing as
I
much as
just
I
sing.
can.
Wait till you hear this
That's-
voice. I just say.
It just keeps me alive, you know.
Bingo.
It makes my heart beat. So that's why I'm.
That's the quote of the day.
Yeah.
Keeps me alive and it makes my heart sing. Well, hold that thought one little minute and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Since when did experience become something to hide? I say we own it. Lose all that negativity. Just let it go. It's just bad energy. Oh, and lose those terrible black balloons they give you on your 50th. What's up with that?
Hey, we hear you. That's why our members love AARP the magazine. It celebrates you with fun and provocative content, from lifestyle and entertainment to in-depth reporting. And it's just one of the great benefits of membership.
If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
To be at peace with myself is the most prominent thing, and I am at peace with myself. I didn't deal this deck, I'm just playing the game. That's all. That's it. Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise. Been making sure that I get the nutrition that I need, and it's a balanced meal. My name is Maurice McGriff. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
And we're back. Thank you, Leata. Leata, let me ask you this. I want to know about this new CD that you're getting ready to drop. What's it called? When is it dropping? Dish.
It's called Tenderly.
Oh.
And it should be out in, I would say, another month to be exact.
Well, I'm going to ask you this. When it does drop, if you send me the link, I would love to introduce your new songs to our audience. Just a little ahead, we will be playing another tune of Leata's, but this was recorded before. This is not from the new CD. I'm waiting for Tenderly, but first I got to play a little Cry Me a River. But, oop, did I let that cat out of the bag? Can't trust me for a second. So, now, it's been a while since you've been in the studio. What happened?
Well, I just kind of dropped out for a minute, dealing with issues in life itself.
Yeah.
So now, now that I got all that stuff on the side, I said,
Was it always on your mind? Were you working toward being able to get back in, or were we just hanging out at that point?
No. I'm always singing. I'm always doing something where I'm singing somewhere.
Fabulous.
Because I have to, like I said, it's my heartbeat, and it's a gift God gave me. I didn't study to learn how to do this. It was just bestowed on me. So I said, you have to get out there. So that's my goal now, is to get back out. And I say I'm a late bloomer, but I'm about to bloom. So
How about a rebloomer?
A rebloomer?
A rebloomer. What do they call us? Perennials. You can tell what a gardener I am, right? I'll hear from 75 people saying, but you can only plant perennials. I really don't care. I was just making a point.
Oh, you're funny.
I had a good coffee today, and I have you to work with. I mean, this is a pleasure. I love this.
This is
I mean,
funny.
because where your heart is, I can relate to so. And I don't sing as much as I should. I don't sing as much as I wish I had. But just having you here, you got to know what my plan's going to be.
Yeah.
So thank you for relighting.
Well,
Baby
get back
that
to it.
fire. Well, listen. But it is a gift that we have, and to be able to go to that gift when you need it. And there have been times, and I'm sure it's the same with you,
Yeah.
you know, but for that ability to get your feelings out through that.
Yeah.
Be jammed up. And jammed up just doesn't work.
Right, right.
You know?
So these are a bunch of songs that
Now,
I
are these
loved.
Are these new songs? Are these
They're-
covers? What
They're
kind
all
of
jazz standards
Oh.
that I love, that I've sang for a long time. And I said, let me just finally put them down, and then I can move on to some new stuff, you know. But this is definitely some of my favorite songs.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. And it's called Tenderly, and we will remind you when that does drop. Before I let you go, tell me, how can people follow you other by calling me?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I have a website, leatagalloway.com, and this is
Do
the
you
way that
tweet?
I don't tweet. I'm not a tweeter. I'm trying not to get into that whole scene, but knowing Rudy Calvo, he's going to have me tweeting.
And you know what I have to say about that, don't you? Anything Rudy says, I have learned to pay attention
I
to.
know, me too.
You know, he's the one who got me wearing red lipstick, what can I tell you?
He told me to do it today, too.
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you
Yes.
for caring about our lips.
But he's
Anyway,
a sweetheart.
Please keep in touch with me. Let me know when the CD drops. We'll be playing the song here.
Okay.
And
Appreciate it.
boy, listening to you is certainly a pleasure for me. So you are listening to the Bonnie Sher Show. We've had the pleasure of chatting with Leata Galloway. So come on, join the conversation. We don't bite much. 323-843-2826. And if I can remember the number, you can remember to call it. We'd love to talk to you. Or, you know, you can always tweet the hashtag, which is BSHER Radio. Okay, now, thank you for being here, Leata. Leata Galloway. Thank you. It really was a pleasure. I feel great. And as we go to break, I'd like to acknowledge the fine work of the Diabetes Research Institute and encourage you to support their efforts. And you can visit them online at diabetesresearch.org. Our song of the day is coming up. Cry Me a River. Leata Galloway.
Type 1 diabetes can be living in anyone.
Type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas doesn't produce insulin. It's not caused by your diet. It's not caused by anything you did.
Type 1 diabetes can be very serious.
Blindness, amputation.
Learn more about type 1 diabetes.
Help support JDRF finding a cure.
T1D looks like my brother.
T1D looks like a friend.
Type 1 diabetes looks like me.
You're lonely. You cry alone night through. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. 'cause I cried a river over you. You drove me, nearly drove me out of my head, while you never shed a tear. Remember, I remember every word that you said. Told me love was too flowy and told me you were through with me. Now you say that you love me. Well, just to prove that you do. Come on and cry me a river. Cry me a river. 'Cause I cried a river over you. Yeah. I cried a river, the Mississippi River. I cried a river over you. So it's your turn, baby. Come on and cry me a river. 'Cause I cried a river over you. It's your turn to come on and cry me a river. 'Cause I
Woo-hoo indeed, I told you. You got us all worked up here in the booth. Aren't you worked up, Jarvis? Tell us your... Oh, Jarvis says he's worked up. And you, Christiana, are you worked up? Of course. All right, well, while we're on Christiana, today is Christiana's last day with me working as my intern. He's been here with me for a year, and you're going to be sorely missed a lot. So thank you for everything you've done for the Bonnie Sher Show and for me personally. So, indeed, welcome back to the Bonnie Sher Show, Boomer Life. My co-host for this segment is Edward Fiedler, a member of the T1D, type 1 diabetes. I can't get a word out today. Just bought these teeth, yeah. And Edward's from the great state of Alabama. Welcome, Edward.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, not being able to speak is going pretty well. So see what's going to happen now is I'm going to ask you to speak in my stead. First of all, share your story with us, please.
Sure. So I was diagnosed in 1998 at the age of 11. I did not take my diagnosis very well. After that, I started going to a diabetes camp, and I've been there for the past 19 years. It actually just ended a week ago. I just got home. And throughout my years, of being a camper, being a counselor,
I'm glad you qualified that. I thought you are the oldest living camper, but okay.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, I can't stay young forever, but I started.
But we're gonna try, Edward.
Yes, we are. You're absolutely right. So in college, in order to graduate, I had to do something called a senior thesis, and being a photographer, I wanted to do something that was not diabetes related because I was surrounded by diabetes. It was something that
I can't relate to that.
It was something I knew too well, so I wanted to do something different. But all my ideas got rejected, so it was coming down to the crunch time, and we decided to do it on living with diabetes. And the project went well. I graduated, and I wanted to keep the project going. The only problem is that my story was told, and I didn't really know where to go from there. So I was talking to my dad one day, and he was telling me that I should make this book full of portraits with people with diabetes, and give it to people who are newly diagnosed and their parents to show that diabetes is not a death sentence. And that's kind of how it started, and that started 4 years ago. And the book just came out last May, and it's called The Faces of Diabetes.
And how can people get to your book?
They can visit our website. It's thefacesofdiabetes.org, and we have a shop there. And the website, we also feature people who I couldn't get in the book. You can submit your own photo, your own story, talk about what your life has been like with diabetes. Share some insights and into your world, because everybody's story is different, and I think that's a good way to get out there and find comfort in having your story told and reading other people's stories as well.
I agree. For many, many years, I didn't know another T1. And then we had Facebook. And we would say, you're on the book. And we could find groups. But what a wonderful way to intermingle. Because although, yes, we're all very, very different, we have one very strong commonality. We get it. I've even said to my own physician, arguably you're the finest endocrinologist in the country, but one thing you're never going to be is a type 1.
Yeah, they can never tell you what a low blood sugar feels like or anything like that. So it's a weird connection meeting somebody else who has type 1 and knowing that they're facing the same battles that you are on a daily basis.
Absolutely. That's been really one of the joys of doing this show for me. So I can understand, your interest in doing the same thing in photo form. But I fought this too. I didn't want to do anything connected with diabetes. And it might, people would just think of me in that one very small little role, when clearly, in order to have the eye to do that photography and catch the people, as it were, there's a lot of heart there. And I think, for the most part, that's something we all do have in common. So, bless you. So, tell me more about the life of Edward.
Well,
are you one of those real techie guys?
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I work at a warehouse for my main job, and I still run the Faces of Diabetes and do the whole book thing. We also make satirical videos making fun of diabetes, because the whole point of the project is kind of alleviate the fear and the anxiety and the depression that can sometimes be associated with diabetes and diabetes burnout. So I do that a lot. I also just got certified as a personal trainer, and I'm a photographer. So I'm all over the place doing things and creating.
God love you.
So it's whatever I find that I'm passionate about, I tend to go for, head on. But now I've got my hand in a lot of different baskets, as it were.
I think that's terrific. I mean, not like you need my blessing, but I love hearing stories like yours. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Do you do the MDI? Do you pump? Do you have a sensor? Are you a closed looper? What is going on?
I have been on the pump since I was in 8th grade, and to me, it's the best way I can really treat myself. My last A1C was 6.4.
That's amazing.
I don't have a sensor. It's something that I think is essential for people. But with the amount of control that I have, I don't think it's really necessary for me. I would love to get one. Sure. that would be fantastic to have one on my arm and stuff like that, and not have to worry about, if I'm low or high or anything like that. That would be great. But, I would, we'll see where it goes. We'll see if my control slips, but I like to stay on top of it as best as I can, and I think I owe a lot of that to exercise, because I'm so into fitness and moving, and I like being active. That it's really, for some reason, it's really easy for me to just control my blood sugars.
And how are you with your food?
I'm decent. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a perfect poster child. Yesterday I had a pint of ice cream for dinner, so.
I'm calling the diabetes police.
Everybody has their thing.
Was it Ben and Jerry's?
It actually was. It was Ben and Jerry's. I'm trying to remember what I had. I think it was American Dream or something like that. But yeah,
I have no idea what that could be. Red, white, and blue. No, nothing. With little crumbs. No, I don't know that. No.
Yeah, I do try to eat healthy though. A lot of rice, a lot of proteins, and just like really basic stuff. I'm not much of a cook, so I don't know how to make like tons of fantastic things, but I'm pretty basic with my food. You know what I mean? I like eating breakfast for dinner a lot, eggs and bacon and stuff like that. So
yeah, maybe that's a diabetic thing. I love that a lot myself. Come
I
to
try
think
stay
of
away
it, I
from
could
gas
eat that
station food.
anytime. You stay away from what?
Gas station food. You know what I mean? Like all those.
Oh yes, I.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Try not
I've
to
dined
get
Shea
into that.
gas station a couple times in my life. Well, let's not miss the point here before I meet you at my next gas station. Please tell us more about the book and how to get our hands on it.
Sure. So the book, you can get it on our website. It's pretty much the only place we really offer it right now. When making the book, it was a really big hassle trying to find a publisher that would make it to where it would be affordable for people to buy. So the book is $30. It's this beautiful thing right here that I spent 4 years of my life on. You can get it on our website, thefacesofdiabetes.org. And we actually just released the ebook a few days ago, and I'm pretty much going to give those away. Probably every few weeks or something, I'll probably bring a new coupon code out, but we have one right now going, and you can find it on our Instagram. I'm sure we'll put that up later. But I mean, really, the project was meant to help people. And you see so many people trying to sell you something, trying to sell this and sell that, and that kind of really bothers me, because to me it just feels like they're trying to like make a profit off of you. But I wanted to give something back to the community, something that would make people feel better. And again, the project is all about helping people. So the ebook right now is for free, and we have a coupon on our Instagram and Facebook right now that you can find, and go download it. If you don't want to buy a physical copy of a book, that's fine. I get it. It's way more beautiful than in the ebook. Physical forms and books are something I love anyway. I've got plenty of them, but again, this is something we wanted to give back to the community that we really want to help people with that are dealing with, the feeling of being alone and diabetes burnout, because that's something that really bothers me, is that people feel alone in their battle with diabetes, and you should never feel alone with this, no matter what. But the facesofdiabetes.org.
Well, I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. I can totally relate to being alone with your care, alone with your diabetes. Even when I was 17 years old, I was diagnosed at 15, but still living with my family at 17, and they didn't get it, and these things were happening, and I didn't get it. And bless you for putting all those feelings and faces together to come up with such a joyous piece of work. I wish you every best success. Stay in touch with me, please. Let me know what's going on, so I know what's going on. It's important.
Absolutely, will do.
All right, Edward, thank you for being with me today. I so appreciate it. Take good care. So now you know my next request is, if you would like to be the T1D co-host with me 1 week, it's so easy. I didn't say I'm easy. It's easy. Cut that out. All you have to do is write to me. It's Bonnie@BonnieSher.com, and we'll make sure that we get you a date. That I can promise you. Okay, next. Boomer News, which today comes to us from the nonprofit organization Public Citizen, and they're talking about gluten. And views from my soapbox. Back in 60 seconds.
For 3 million Americans with celiac disease, eating gluten, a protein in wheat, barley, and rye, can make them sick. Even small amounts of gluten in many products on grocery shelves can trigger painful and debilitating symptoms. Most food labels identify products containing gluten, but one widely used type of product doesn't: over-the-counter and prescription drugs. That's right. Manufacturers sometimes use gluten in medications as an inactive ingredient. But drug labels usually don't indicate the use of gluten. To avoid gluten in medication, celiac patients must spend time and effort researching medications online and calling manufacturers. That is not a realistic option. Who can fix this problem? The U.S. Food and Drug Administration. which has long been aware of the issue. In 2008, a New York man with celiac disease urged the agency to ban gluten in medications, or at least to require they be labeled. The petition attracted 73 public comments, but the FDA did not act. In 2011, the FDA received another 138 comments. Still, the FDA did not act. Now lawyers at Public Citizen are representing the man in a lawsuit. The goal? To get the FDA to act on his request. Share the facts at www.citizen.org/pressroom.
Some mean stuff, that gluten. Gotta watch it every second. And that cough. Anyway, now for my soapbox. You might remember that sort of my take on who I thought got it right and who, well, I didn't. And I think they should be ashamed of themselves. So let's start out with giving a shout out to the great state of Nevada for striking a blow finally to the pharmaceutical industry. Their governor, Brian Sandoval, says that he will support revised legislation that is designed to contain the cost of diabetes drugs. There's a start for you. And my shout down. My goodness, if the American Health Care Act of 2017 passes the House of Representatives in May, which, of course, we know now that it did as a replacement for the Affordable Care Act currently wending its way through the Senate. Well, it could be disastrous for people with diabetes. There is an article that was drawn and reported by Medscape discussing the recent presentation by the experts at the American Diabetes Association's recent conference. So go to Medscape and check that out. But before we say goodbye, I want to say thanks to my guests today, the lovely Leata Galloway and the awfully cute Edward Fiedler. So that's our show, and I hope you'll return next week for another 50 minutes. The Land Bonnie, what can I tell you? Which includes boomers in the T1D community. Until then, please visit BonnieSher.com. Follow the number 1 Bonnie Sher on Twitter, and like the Bonnie Sings Lena fan book page. Many of you are aware of the special role that the late Sammy Davis Jr. played in my life. He was my mentor. He was my friend. And I'd like to end every show with a little wink and blink and nod, kind of Carol Burnett style. To you, Mr. D, thank you for everything. And thank you. Thank you for being here for another week. See you next week.